You're probably wasting your time in the gym and don't even realize it. You go in, do set after set, exercise after exercise, feeling exhausted at the end and thinking that means progress. But what if I told you that everything you've been taught about training might be backwards? Most people train like the bodybuilders you see in magazines. High volume, long sessions, hitting the same muscles multiple times a week, chasing the pump. It feels productive. It looks intense. But intensity and effectiveness are not the same thing. You can spend 2 hours in the gym and still not give your muscles the one thing they actually need to grow: true stimulus.
Mike Mentzer has inherited some pretty good genetics. His father is German and his mother is Italian. His brother Ray is also an outstanding bodybuilder.
The truth is, your muscles don't grow while you're lifting. They grow when you recover. Training is just the signal. Recovery is where the magic happens. And if your training is too long, too frequent, or too random, you're constantly interrupting that recovery process. You're not building muscle, you're just breaking your body down over and over again. This is where Mike Mentzer's philosophy completely flips the script. Instead of more volume, more sets, more days, he focused on one thing: maximum intensity with minimum volume. Think about it like this. If you flip a light switch once, the light turns on. You don't need to flip it 10 times to make it brighter. Your muscles work the same way. Once you hit that threshold of stimulus, anything extra is just unnecessary fatigue. But most people never reach that threshold. They stop when it burns. They stop when it's uncomfortable. Real growth happens at the edge, those last few reps where everything in your body is telling you to quit and you keep going anyway. That's what Mentzer called training to failure. Not fake failure. Real failure. So, how do you actually put this into practice without burning out before you even start? Let's take a chest press or a leg press as an example. Most people think they need 4 or 5 working sets. Mentzer says you only need 1, but you must prepare for it correctly. You start with your first warm-up set at about 50% of your maximum weight for 8 to 10 easy reps. You aren't trying to build muscle here, you are just waking up the nervous system. Then, you move to a second warm-up at 75% for only 4 to 6 reps. If the weight is extremely heavy, you might do one last prep set at 90% for just 1 or 2 reps. The goal is to be warm, but completely fresh. You haven't wasted a single drop of energy yet. Now comes the all-out set. This is where the world disappears. For a chest press, you aim for 6 to 10 reps. For leg press, maybe 12 to 20. But the numbers don't matter as much as the tempo. You lower the weight slowly, 4 seconds down. You pause. You explode up for 2 seconds. No momentum. No ego. Every inch of the movement is under your control. When you reach that 8th or 9th rep and the bar stops moving, when your muscles are screaming and you can't complete another full rep with perfect form, that is the moment. You keep pushing for a few more seconds against the immovable weight, reaching absolute failure. You've flipped the switch. You're done.
When formulating a high-intensity training program, the first thing to do is arrange the exercises in their proper sequence. It is a physiological fact that during exercise, the larger muscles of the body demand more energy than the smaller ones. It is advantageous, therefore, to work the largest muscles first, early in the workout, when more energy is readily available. From there, you can proceed to work the other major muscle groups of the body in descending order from the largest to the smallest. Direct application of these high-intensity training principles will guarantee optimal progress. While it is true that each of us are unique as personalities, it is also true that we are physiologically alike, making our training requirements practically identical. Yes, there are those who will gain faster than others, owing to differences in existing levels of fitness and development, age, and in innate adaptability to exercise. The important point to remember here is that you will grow progressively larger and stronger muscles only when you train with increasing levels of intensity. This is universal and applies to all human beings. Intense training is purposeful behavior aimed at the goal of increasing muscular size and strength. In order to train as hard as possible, you must retain a clear image of your purpose. Once your goal is sharply but realistically defined, all that remains is carrying out your plan. Don't, however, worry about your individual potential. Potential is only the expression of a possibility, something that can be assessed accurately only in retrospect. In other words, you'll never know how good you might have become unless you try. So let's get with it. Here now is a basic 3-day routine meant to be performed every other day with a 2-day rest on weekends. It is a full body workout that can be used by athletes, bodybuilders, and anyone interested in increasing overall strength and fitness. As a basic routine designed to work all the major muscle groups, it can be used by even advanced trainees with positive results.
If you're actually training this hard, you cannot train as often as you think. You don't need 6 days a week. You might not even need 4. In many cases, 3 days is enough. Sometimes even less. Because intensity and frequency have an inverse relationship. The harder you train, the more recovery you need. And recovery isn't just about muscles, it's your nervous system, your joints, your energy levels. If those aren't fully recovered, your next workout won't be effective no matter how motivated you feel. So instead of living in the gym, you start treating each session like it matters. You go in with a plan. Fewer exercises, fewer sets, but every set counts. There's no wasted effort. No scrolling on your phone between sets. No half-hearted reps. This approach forces you to be honest with yourself. You can't hide behind volume. You can't pretend you trained hard just because you did a lot. It's either effective or it's not. Another key part of this method is progression. If you're not getting stronger over time, something is wrong. Strength is the most honest indicator of progress. If the weight or reps aren't going up, your body isn't adapting. Stop training like a bodybuilder who's just filling time. Start training like every set actually matters. Go in, give everything you have for that moment, and then get out. Because at the end of the day, muscle growth isn't about how long you train. It's about how well you train. Train less, but train harder than you ever have.